Welcome everyone, this is Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have just a variety of things that I hope will inspire you. Some things that I was inspired by, and so I created some items. I hope I can share that inspiration with you. And there's a couple journals and other things as well. I'm going to start off with my inspiration from the last couple of days. Do you ever hit that point where you really want to create, but you don't know what to do next? Well, that doesn't happen to me fairly often, but when it does, it is not a good feeling. So I like to go to Pinterest and just look up different ideas and then do my own version of them. So some of this is that. For example, these flowers here. I saw something similar on Pinterest, and so I made a set of 10. What I love about these flowers is it's using simple paper punches that you might already have, like the different scallops, but then you cut it a certain way and ink it up and all of that. And then I've just added a little punched out square to the back, so that's where you can either put your adhesive or pop dot or something like that. So there's 10 of them. And they're so pretty. I think these would look so pretty if you are doing yellow themed, floral themed, like the clover and buttercups or sunflowers or something like that from my shop, or your own favorite. I think like My Porch Prints, Artie Mays, they have some beautiful digitals that would go really well with these. And there's 10 of them, so you should be able to do, I like to use these on covers, journal covers, so you should be able to do multiple journals with that. So that was one inspiration. This set of tassels that I made was inspired by a post that had a wire wrapped like crystals or rocks. So I had these beads, and they look like a rock, an orange marbled rock. I'm really hoping you can see that. And I took some gold wire and did a wrap on that. And then I just made this tassel. I've used the gold wire to wrap around it, but I have like leaf lace, greenery, sari silk, shabby lace, all sorts of things. And there's a set of 2. This one's wrapped around too. I love the way this one came out. They're slightly different, and so they think they would be really pretty on like Halloween or fall journals, but they wouldn't necessarily have to be. So there's that set of 2. I was using up some paper. I made these envelopes here, and then I had extra, so I'll show you what I made with the extra. So these are some double-sided papers that I purchased off of Facebook Marketplace. I have a whole stack, and they're just all these random papers, but there's like several sheets of each one. So I made, well, there's 3 different sets. So this set is a set of 2, and they are just it's a double-sided cardstock pouch. So it's for storing ephemera, sticking into junk journals, using for Happy Mail. And I love the way this came out. So it's a lavender stitched thread down each side. There's a notch here, so it's easy to open. And then this is some coffee dyed paper from Above Par Crafts. She gave me a pack of it. Absolutely love her coffee dyed paper. And there's some packs of her coffee dyed paper in the Marketplace supplies section if you're interested in purchasing it. But what I did is I used an edge punch, and this is a rose edge punch from Hobby Lobby. My husband bought it for me for Christmas a couple years ago. It is so pretty, but you couldn't really see the brown on the brown unless you opened it up. So I glued down this piece of coffee dyed paper. Now you can really see those roses. And so there's a set of 2. That was so fun to make. And then these 2 sets here are very similar. And I have this lace that had these leaves. So I cut them all out and I made little pouches. So again, stitched with the lavender lace. And then I glued these here so they would peek out from under the edge. And then there is a button glued on as well. Aren't those beautiful? Whether they're for fall, nature, there's so many things you can do with them. And then there's 2 similar sets of the button leaf ones. So I used up a bunch of paper doing that, but then I had these strips left. So I decided that I would go ahead and make some stitched paper ribbons, but I wanted to do it different than I normally do it. So I did the ribbons from the paper, and it's double-sided. Then again, I've stitched with this lavender thread, but first I just did a single stitch just to kind of hold the ruffle the way I wanted to. And then I put down this gingham ribbon, and this ribbon I got from the same lady I got this paper from. She just used it to tie up the bundles of paper, and so I got like an orange one, a brown one, and there may have been another one, but anyway, so I stitched that down, and then again this leaf lace. Each one has a leaf lace and then a button. So these are not necessarily fall themed, but I definitely think they lean that way. So there's two similar sets of those. I think they would just be so pretty in autumn journals. So again, that was actually, I was inspired by Tammy Son from that. She's one of my suppliers. She didn't actually do this, but she's done similar things, and it just inspired me. So I did that. Let's see what else. Yvette inspired me and some pins on Pinterest to create some flowers. So here's a set. Look at how pretty these are. They have a backing, and then this one's fabric with a button. Then there's two of this lace. So you can just use this backing here to glue it wherever you want it. There's lace, there's a pink lace one, and two brown fabric ones. These would be really pretty on shabby chic journals. I gotta get used to making flowers. They're a little tricky, but very rewarding. Trying to use up this fabric here. I made a snippet roll, and this was just not really inspired by anyone in particular. I just made a snippet roll, and it's a nice wide one, and it is tied up with this hand crocheted string that I got from Yvette. She ties a lot of her stuff with this, and she gave me some, so I thought that was really pretty. You could reuse that. So here is the snippet roll. I'm just going to go through it so you can see. This one I left the fabric up at the top pretty much untouched, and then there's lace all down the bottom, and then strips of different papers and laces, and then just different like buttons and clips, and there's a tassel, ticket, die cuts. It's all stitched and glued on. Look at how pretty. You can cut this up to make pockets. It's nice and wide. You can see it compared to my hand here. I love this lace on the bottom, and then there's even like a book page die cut. There's a label. There's an applique and some beads. Nice and long. I'll put the length of it in the description listing. But I really loved how this came out, and I think there's so many ways you could use it. But my first choice, or first thought, I guess I should say, would be pockets, because it's just that perfect width, and you can reuse this tie as well. And then I had, like I said, I'm using up that fabric, and I had little strips left, so I made some dangles. These are so pretty. They're just, I don't like super chunky dangles. I like petite. I don't like to chunk up a journal so much that it's hard to write in. That's just my personal opinion. I love looking at big chunky journals, but when I'm making them, I tend to go slightly more petite. And so this is what I made. There's a scrap of the fabric, a scrap of lace, and then I made these little dangles, and the beads are from Sister Simon. Thank you so much for sending me some beads. They're just little petite things. They have a red hint and then clear, and so they're all the same. Pretty much. There's just several of them, and there's plenty for you to use a couple in your journal, and then maybe send some Happy Mail packages out, or just add to your stash. Those were relaxing to make for sure. Now I didn't make these, but I found these animal flashcards, so I made 4 sets. They're all, you'll get different letters in each one, but like there's vulture, sloth, I mean they're all cow, armadillo, whale. There's just all different, really nice. Koala. And then on the back, they have the letters. So there's 4 sets of these flashcards, and they're all different, but they're similar. I made some paperclip dangles. This was a Pinterest inspiration. Something I saw similar. And these are the coilless safety pins that I get at Hobby Lobby. The trick to getting these for a good price is to get them when the jewelry findings are 50% off. So these, there's 8 of them, and you can clip them on your pockets, on your page edges, front of the pages. There's 8 different ones, and they're all fall-ish themed, I would say. So we have one burlap one, and this one has a little coffee cup. There's a star. This is a pine cone. There's some buttons. This one says handmade with love. There's a leaf. So just perfect for your journals or your November daily or October daily. So many things you could do with that. I had a lot of fun making these. Again, I was inspired by Pinterest, but I didn't actually see this one on Pinterest. So these are gold paper clips, and I just bought them on sale at Tuesday morning. They were on clearance, and then I just made a little pearl, 3 little pearl-like beads dangling off of them. Again, I like really petite. There's 10 of them. They're all the same. And so they don't leave too big of a footprint in the journals, but they just leave something so precious and so, I guess, glam or vintage. Well, again, my phone decided to cut off the video. I think I was showing you these pearl paper clips, but I missed a couple of things because it just shut off. So I'll backtrack. I made these journal cards from a book called The Living Garden. If you ever see this book or you want to look it up online, if you love Edith Holden, you will love this book called The Living Garden. And it has a lot of beautiful colored pages, but it also has like these drawing ones. And so these are all stitched with like a lavender thread, and they're backed with coffee dyed paper from the Above Par Crafts coffee dyed paper that you can get in the marketplace supplies section. But there's 10 of these. There's a willow wren and old gooseberries, Norway maple, there's a little bee, there's a mushroom, there's just all different sizes, really pretty, ready to go into your nature journals, and you get a reusable bag. So great deal there. And then yesterday I had some time to craft, and I decided to pull out a vintage book, floral book. I think it's bulbs. And I've been hoarding some of the pages because they're so incredibly beautiful and vintage looking. Look at these. Love them. But I decided, you know, I can't hoard everything forever. I know that you all hear me on that. So these are just sets of 6, simple. They're inked with a light purple distress ink. They're just little pouches. They're all stitched with lavender thread. And they're all slightly different because they're different book pages, but there's 2 sets of 6 of these. And while I was trying to use up as many pages as possible yesterday from those books, I made some journal cards. Now, the book had illustrations, but it also had vintage photographs in it. These are gorgeous. So they're backed with just a green copy paper, and then there's some stitching. They're not stitched all the way around. There's some stitching. It will hold the back on because sometimes the back, if you're just gluing it, will want to pop up. These look like they're down pretty good, but anyway, it'll hold it together. So there's just different, there's a darker purple and a lighter purple stitching. There's 10 cards and then 2 sets, similar, different sizes, perfect for all of your botanical journals. And there's, see this, I can't pick it up, this set as well. So 2 sets of that. And then I spent quite a while fussy cutting this gorgeous collection. So these are actually vintage book page flowers. And I cut all of these out by hand. There's a lot of them. I mean, look at how gorgeous. So yes, this will have a high price point to it as I took my time to make them so beautiful. And then of course, these are not copies. They are actually vintage flowers. So look at how beautiful these are for your journals. So many gorgeous ones. So of course you get a little reusable bag as well. That was my inspiration, and I hope it inspired you as well. But I do have wallpaper. Wallpaper may not be as inspiring as handmade items, but, well, I don't know. A good wallpaper can really inspire me. So I have some new collections. This is called Bella Casa, And these are huge. When opened up, these are 11 by 18. There's 9 of them. And look at how pretty. So these have like these skeleton leaf designs in a teal and a purple. And then there's these gorgeous flourishes and striped florals. This is a pretty silver purple. Oh, so pretty. Bella Casa. This is Evangeline. Now this is a big set. This is 13 different ones, and they are luxurious. They're so pretty. They have this metallic hue to them. Some of them are striped, some are flourished floral. This is so pretty, this teal. And then even a white one. So that's Evangeline. There's 2 sets of Flourishing Nature. These are 6 by 18. So you can cover a mini journal and then have tags left over. So this is Flourishing Nature. Very metallic. And there's 2 sets of that. This is Wilhelmina. This is a set of 4. I love these. These are beautiful. Again, metallic. The colors are gorgeous. Striped vines. We have, if you just want a cheap, like if you can't afford a whole bunch of big collections of wallpaper, you can get these and you can make tags, journal cards, tuck spots. So this is Striped Vines in the 4 by 18 and then also in the 11 by 18. And then Breland Manor in the 4 by 18 and the 11 by 18. Again, very metallic, very beautiful. And then Simply Metallic in the 4 by 18 and again in the 11 by 18. And then Auntie's Parlor in the 4 by 18 and the 11 by 18. And just for your information, all of these sets come from the same wallpaper book. So what that means for you is mixing and matching these sets. So like say you get a Breland Manor and a Striped Vines or Evangeline with Wilhelmina. They're all from the same collection. So they're going to coordinate really well together. A lot of beautiful wallpaper there. So that ends my goodies, but I wanted to share a few more goodies from Above Par Crafts. So these are some books. Hold on, I should have taken them out of the plastic already, but these are vintage children's books. Make sure I'm still filming and it didn't cut me off. All right, I'm going to put these together as a set of 4. So this is We Like to Help. These are for Tiny Doings books, Scripture Press publications for preschoolers. Look at how cute these little illustrations are. Oh my goodness, these are so cute. So the year is 1968. So there's We Like to Help, We Learn to Share, We Want to Obey, and We Can Be Kind. So cute. So there's a little set of these Tiny Doings books from the 60s. And then she has a set of, these are scale, let me take this off so we can actually see what we're doing here. Scale Modeler. It's a set of 2, and these are 1981, 71 and 81. But this would be absolutely perfect if you were doing a masculine journal. I mean, look at how amazing all of these like ephemera advertisements and things. There's old cars, old planes. How neat is that? Oh, she has some other ones too. I may end up listing them individually because you might only need one because, you know, unless you're doing a ton of them, because here's a 1983 and then there is a, I don't know what the year on this one is. It says April. But again, they're really neat. So I haven't decided how I'm going to pair them, but there's 4 of them, and somehow I will pair them together. She also has this book about a little mouse, and the colors on this are very orangey and black and dark, but beautiful. So I'm thinking harvesty, Halloween might go really well with this color scheme there. This is from 1964. And then this is a history, geography, science, literature, art book. I'm thinking it might be in Montreal. So it's not French. It's Montreal, from Montreal. and beautiful vintage illustrations. And it is Montreal would be, no, it would be in French because Montreal would be in Canada. So this should be in French. Really pretty book. So those are from her. And then we have a couple of journals we are going to close this video out with. These are all challenge journals. This is the first one we're going to look at. So July challenge. Look at how pretty this is. Says roses. And so it's a redone book cover. And this is from Giselle Parker. She's used rose quotes, floral journal labels, and button labeled botanicals. Fabric on the inside. Very, very floral and beautiful. Look at that. I'm a sucker for stencils. I love stencils. These are nature prints. This is the Augusta Millot nature prints. You can get my collection of 28 of these on Vintage Image Club, or if you want them pre-printed, go to Lindsay's Supplies, and I have some on sale that have been pre-printed. Look at the inking. Ugh, I love her work. I'm such a fan of her work. Every time she sends a journal, it's just makes me happy to look at it. I'm sure you all have an artist like that. If you could let me know in the comments below, which artist would you say, now you may have more than one, and you could list more than one if you wanted to, or just list the one that comes to mind. Which artist, when you get to see one of their journals, whether you buy one or whether you just see it online, so it could be like Amity Bloom, it could be Nick the Booksmith, it could be, you know, one of my artists like Barb or Tammy, or, you know, just if you could list that below, I would love to see what you think about that. And I'm sure all of us would love to as well. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journal. And then this is a really pretty belt with that giant rose. Whoops. I have never been good with these. What are they called? Double D closure thing? I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Took me years to figure that out. All right, here is another one. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. It's a cardstock cover. This is from Susan Winland. This is called Buttercups and Clover. Let's see, Rose Quotes, Rose Garden, button label botanicals. So it is a challenge journal. She added some goodies, but then she also used my Clover and Buttercups kit. So if you're not familiar with that kit, look at, oh wow, sorry, I got so distracted. Look at how pretty that is with the, not embellishing, embossing folder. So this is from Clover and Buttercups, and she added that in as well. So super pretty. There's the button labeled botanicals, the rose garden. So pretty what she did here. I love this journal. So, so pretty. There's more button labeled botanicals. So sweet. This is Rose Quotes. Lovely. Very pretty, Susan. I love yellow in a journal. I was inspired to create Clover and Buttercups when I was mowing our lawn. And in Tennessee, we have wildflowers, and some of them are buttercups and clovers. So our yard was just full of buttercups and clovers while I was mowing. And then I was like, what an amazing combination. You know, nature put them together, and I thought I would do the same. And so I love how that kit came out. Look at this cover. Not only is it collaged here on the back, but look at, there's so many layers. There's like a burlap, there's music paper, corrugated cardboard. There's an image here, doilies, and then a rose on the front, and the lace here on the side. And look at what she did here. So this is one of those metal corners. Sometimes, you know, we wind up with those odd corners. She put it here instead of on the corner, and I love that. So this, I think, is also from Susan. And Rose Garden, Rose Quotes, button labeled botanicals. So this is a challenge journal. This is the Rose Garden. That was one of Joanne's. How beautiful. It's got a sweet, grungy feel to it, but it's still simple. It has these really beautiful, look at that, beautiful mulberry pages, gorgeous journal cards. So this is in the marketplace section of the website, as well as the other 2 journals I showed you. So that'll be all for today. I hope you'll take a second to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not. Tomorrow we will be going through more challenge journals, as well as some journals from the sweet Lillian Wolf. If you have not seen her journals before, you are in for a surprise. She has been on the marketplace a couple times before, but it has been a little while. And so that would be a regular marketplace box that we're going to be going through, and then a couple more challenge journals. And I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. I'll see you all later.